Ladies and gentlemen, after months of stalling and progressive partisan incompetence, President Trump and Elon Musk have stepped in and saved the day. That's right, folks. Joe Biden's stranded astronauts are finally back home safe and sound on Earth, despite Joe Biden's best efforts to leave them stuck in space indefinitely. Take a look.
As you can see there on your screen, continuing to monitor progress of the Dragon spacecraft. And we're going to stand by for splashdown located in the Gulf of America off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
Now, thank God those astronauts are finally back home on solid ground, but you know what? Here's why this entire situation is so insane. Here's the reality. President Joe Biden deliberately left astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams stranded in space. What was originally supposed to be an 8-day mission turned into a 9-month ordeal, and it wasn't just because of technical difficulties. No, Biden made sure they stayed stranded for as long as possible, and we all know why. You see, what originally started as mechanical issues with Boeing's return capsule quickly evolved for Joe Biden into a partisan issue. You see, after plans with Boeing's return capsule fell through due to mechanical issues, rather than find an alternative, like using Elon Musk's SpaceX, Biden refused to act. Why? Because getting those astronauts home safely would have made President Trump look good. As we now know, Joe Biden delayed the rescue of these astronauts purely for political reasons. He didn't want Trump or Elon Musk to get any credit for bringing them home, especially not before the 2024 election. That's right. His administration was so petty, so incompetent, and so spiteful that they literally left 2 Americans floating in space just to avoid giving Trump and Elon Musk a win. And get this, Elon Musk actually offered to retrieve those stranded astronauts months ago during the 2024 election, but Joe Biden flat out refused because once again, he didn't want to give Elon Musk and Donald Trump a win. And we all know why. It's because on the 2024 campaign trail, Elon Musk endorsed and supported President Trump. The Democrats and Joe Biden would rather let American astronauts suffer stranded in space than accept help from someone who doesn't bow to the Democratic establishment. But hey, you know what? Don't take my word for all of this. Take a listen to what Elon Musk had to say just last night.
I just want to clarify on the issue of whether or not you had offered to send this rocket to space to rescue these astronauts sooner to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I heard somebody earlier today say, in fact, that didn't happen when I believe it did.
No, we definitely offered to return the astronauts earlier. There's no question about that. The astronauts were only supposed to be there for 8 days, and they've been there for almost 10 months. So obviously that doesn't make any sense. SpaceX could have brought the astronauts back after a few months at most, and we made that offer to the Biden administration. It was rejected for political reasons, and that's just a fact.
So folks, there you have it. This entire situation with NASA's stranded astronauts is just yet another example of failure under the Democratic Party. NASA, under Joe Biden's influence, put politics above safety. They chose to leave astronauts stranded rather than take the obvious, efficient solution. And this wasn't just an inconvenience, this could have been deadly for these astronauts. You see, the longer those astronauts remained in space, the greater the risk to their health, well-being, and survival. In fact, take a look at this.
The normal amount of time that astronauts are supposed to be in zero G is about 3 months, and then really, at the most, about 6 months. That's sort of the normal rotation, and they were up there for almost 10 months. So that's really going beyond what is healthy or good. So it's a good thing that, thanks to the support of President Trump, we hope to bring them back, because really things get just a lot worse if they stay in zero G for, past a year or more.
So yeah, folks, Joe Biden's partisan antics literally put these astronauts' lives at risk. Because let's not forget, spending an extended amount of time in space has serious consequences on the human body. These astronauts are potentially facing long-term health issues, all because Joe Biden was too stubborn and too incompetent, too politically obsessed to let SpaceX do its job. Now, folks, just last night, President Trump himself actually weighed in on all of this. Take a look.
Your reaction to what's unfolding?
So when I came in office, I said, Elon, we got to get them out. You have a rocket ship handy? How many people have a rocket? And Biden left them up. He abandoned them. You know, we could have done this sooner, but Biden didn't want to because he was embarrassed by what happened. So they were up there. They were supposed to be there for a few days. They were there for many months. And now they're coming back. But think of it. Elon's able to do that with his genius. And you have people that hate it. And I really believe these are people that hate our country. It's a big problem. But, you know, there aren't so many of them. There are many more that love our country. And they love our country now more than they have maybe ever in their lives. There's never been a movement like MAGA, like America First, call it whatever you want to call it. This is the greatest movement in the history of politics.
What's the next stop for the astronauts? Are they going to be coming to the White House?
No, they're going to, number one, have to get better. You know, when you're up there and you have no pull in your muscle, you have no gravity, you can lift 1,000 pounds like this. They have to get better. It's going to be a little bit tough for them. It's not easy. You know, they're up a long time. And when they do, they'll come to the Oval Office.
Folks, this is a president that actually cares about this country and all of the people that live in it. This is what we're talking about when we say America first, because you know what that also means? Americans first. And now, as you might expect, the left-wing media is absolutely seething about all of this. Right now, they're absolutely scrambling to downplay the colossal achievement of bringing these stranded astronauts back home safely. And why? Because Trump and Musk made it happen, and that is their worst nightmare. But you know what? Here's the reality. When there was a crisis and people's lives were seriously at risk, President Trump and Elon Musk stepped up to the plate and took care of business. And what did Joe Biden and the Democrats do? Well, they sat on their hands and put American lives at risk just so they could avoid giving credit where credit was due. But you know what? Let's look at the bigger picture here. SpaceX's success in this situation is a perfect example of why the private sector is superior to the federal government. Biden's NASA is just another bloated, inefficient government agency drowning in bureaucratic incompetence. Meanwhile, SpaceX is actually getting things done. And of course, this also ties into Elon Musk's ongoing endeavor alongside the Department of Government Efficiency to cut out waste, fraud, abuse, and really incompetence from our federal government. But you know what? Check this out. Both of Joe Biden's stranded astronauts that just got returned safely back home to Earth have actually expressed their deep, heartfelt appreciation to both Elon Musk and President Trump after being completely abandoned by Joe Biden and the Democrats. And you know what? I have to say, I think that's pretty much how everyone in America feels right now. Because folks, here's the truth. I think we all here in America can relate to these stranded astronauts. Joe Biden and the Democrats didn't just abandon them up in space, they abandoned all of us living here in America. And so really, in the same way that Trump and Elon Musk have saved these forgotten stranded astronauts, they're also saving this country. When you think about it, it's actually almost poetic in a way, just how emblematic this entire stranded astronaut situation is regarding Joe Biden and the Democrats' complete and total failure to do anything properly. But you know what, folks? Those days are over, and finally, we are putting America first. Now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this stuff. So if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a ton with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.